bonus video time, Ben.
Bonus video time.
And we are on the same side of the desk, which we've discovered may be a thing going forward.
Yeah, well, I like this.
I do like it too. Saves me editing. I don't have to
Much easier.
play around with the edit. But we're going back to a reaction video. We haven't done one of these for a while. We usually incorporate it into the show, but our show this week was a Bonehead episode. We had the Boneheads with us for the entire episode, and so didn't really get to talk about what we've seen lately.
No, and as part of the deal to get the screener for this film that we're going to talk about, I had to promise to cover it, so hence this video.
That's right. And the person that you're trying to impress will be watching.
We'll be watching.
All
She's
right.
the only one. She's the only publicist who actually does watch our stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't spoken about this film together as far as what we thought of it. And so I can say right now that I enjoyed the film. I really, really liked it. And therefore, we're doing a service to it by making this video.
It does look. It makes it a lot easier to do these when you actually genuinely like the film.
Because
and I did thoroughly enjoy it.
Let's just point out the fact that because this particular person, this rep that has given us the opportunity to watch this film ahead of time, we've done a review for her where we absolutely shit all over the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And
she's brought it up.
She keeps bringing it up, saying that was one of the best things you've ever done.
So the movie that we're talking about is Longlegs.
Yes, everyone's talking about Longlegs.
Everyone's talking about Longlegs, and I did.
You thought it was a spider movie.
Yeah, I did think it was a spider movie at first, and as we joke about in this week's show, the one negative. We'll start off with the negative. The one negative thing about this film is that he just has normal legs. There's he does mention if you're the kind of person who when they hear the name of the film mentioned in the film, you give a little golf clap, like the director of Shaun of the Dead and his friends do, then you'll be pleased because in this film, Nicolas Cage, I think actually really close to the beginning of the film, actually goes, I need to put my long legs on. So they do mention the whole long legs thing, but...
Yep.
Through the rest of the film, Nicolas Cage just has normal legs.
So this is a new sort of FBI procedural serial killer type of film directed by Osgood Perkins, who is the son of the late, great Anthony Perkins from Psycho, Norman Bates. And he's an actor as well as a director, but as far as directing goes, he's stuck to horror. Although funny, in all of the marketing and all of the promotion he's done, he's made a point of telling everybody how he's not into horror.
I often think some of the best horror filmmakers are... not into horror.
No, I know, but just admitting that in your marketing or your promotional campaign, I don't think it's a great look. But
I think a lot of people who aren't into horror just aren't into being terrified.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Some people are really into it because of the cathartic.
Well, it's the thing. It's the thing. I have a conversation with Chloe a lot because she's adamant she hates horror, but it's there's so many multifacets to horror that you then catch these people out. Oh, you enjoyed that? Well, that's a horror movie. It might be something soft. But anyway, Longlegs. I really love this more than anything. I love how it looks. I love the world they've captured, the atmosphere of it. It's confronting. Even just the look of it's very confronting and very stark and almost nihilistic.
Yeah, they do, and it's funny because they go from an inner suburban kind of nihilism, which is the cookie cutter houses and these suburbs that all look the same, which are and then they go out to the rural thing which it looks like it's shot almost in the same place that Deranged is kind of shot.
I was going to say there's almost a Psycho connection there.
Yeah, there's the farmhouse kind of in the middle of nowhere. Your next door neighbor is you can fire a gun a couple of times and your neighbor will not hear it.
Yep, or care.
And that's how far away you are.
Yeah.
And it's Nicolas Cage is the titular Longlegs.
Who is fantastic, almost unrecognizable in it. And these days, he's just bouncing between so many weird and some good, some great characters. And this is up there with his good ones.
But I love the fact, he's got quite a weird look in the film and a weird kind of personality. And a lot of the time in these movies, when someone is like that, they don't acknowledge it. But I love, there's a scene in the movie where he goes into a hardware store and there's a high school age girl is working there and he comes in and he does this weird thing and she's just like, Dad, the weird old guy is here again. It's great. Because you watch this, why why aren't you calling out? Why aren't you reacting to this totally bizarre person? And she does.
Yep.
But I think really the standout, I loved Alicia Witt in this. Alicia Witt
it took me a minute to really comprehend that it was her.
It's the first time that I've ever seen her as an old person.
Yeah.
Which is very upsetting.
Confronting.
But I really like Maika Monroe, who seems to really work exclusively in horror, really.
Yeah.
Like all her big roles have all been in horror films.
Yep.
And I thought she was really great.
She does the new version of Clarice Starling. Like there is a very strong Silence of the Lambs type of feel to this movie, which they acknowledge. I think they go into it saying this is, we're going to go with Silence of the Lambs and then take it in a new direction that's, completely horrific, in comparison.
And I would say, like at the start of the film, I actually thought this was going into kind of very Brandon Cronenberg possessor territory. Like the way I kind of think of this film is that it is a Cronenberg film if you took the body horror out of Cronenberg.
Yep.
Like, when she's when they discover that she has kind of psychic abilities, rather than dismiss it, they're like, we're going to use this.
Yep.
But they put her into the room and they don't tell her why she's there and just answer these questions and react to these things. And it's very much like that whole thing in Possessor where they're looking at the screens and stuff.
Yep.
And I was like, this really has that kind of vibe to it. And then, but that's it. Then it doesn't. It doesn't really continue on after that. It was just at that point in the film.
Yeah, very grotesque too. Like the murder scenes are quite, horrific.
Quite confronting. Yet he does. There were some scenes where I thought they could have gone more. Like they didn't show it.
They may yet.
They may yet. I mean, what's it rated here? MA?
Good. I didn't have a rating when I had watched it.
Yeah, I don't know what it's classified as.
I'd say it'll get an MA rating.
But it could very easily have gone up to an R had they been as graphic. But it doesn't shy away from any of that stuff. It's just, you do see it because you don't realize from whose point of view you're watching a lot of the scenes from. And when you figure that out, then you're like, okay, that's why you.
And this movie has that advantage too of having word of mouth. Like it's a lot of people talking about this, and the press are playing up on it. One of the scariest films a lot of people have seen. Which for us, we don't buy into that. But you can imagine an average consumer that's going into the new Nicolas Cage thriller, not aware of what it is. This would be a terrifying film to somebody that's not used to, extreme sort of cinema.
Yeah, totally. And Nicolas Cage gives it kind of a transformative performance.
Yeah.
In it. It's not the Nicolas Cage that you've come to know and love.
Yep.
Which I love it when he does that. I love it when he kind of puts himself into it.
And he has a great sort of final act moment.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. And because I actually, it's such a disappointment I never got to use this for the show, but I got to talk to Oz Perkins and Maika in a round table environment where other journalists speak to them as well about the film, which we can't use on the show. But she was talking about that scene where they're opposite each other in an interrogation room, which is on one of the posters, so it's not a spoiler. And he's doing his thing, and they hadn't really interacted as Nicolas Cage and Michael. Like, he was in character. Right. That was one of the few scenes they've had together. But she said they wrapped that, and then the director left, and in came all these photographers to get the marketing photos.
Yeah.
And while they were setting up, he's still looking the way he does, and he broke character and just became Nicolas Cage and started admiring her work. Like, I really love all the work you've done. Like, blah blah. And she goes, that was more disturbing than anything in the whole movie. Really freaked her out.
Yeah, because he's totally weird. It'd be like having that conversation with Ethan Hawke in Black Phone. Where he just starts talking about what he did on the weekend, and you're like, fucking stop it.
Let me just stop for a second there. When you mentioned Black Phone, how excited I was to see that kid from Black Phone is in that new Mel Gibson monster movie.
Yeah.
Like, I thought to myself, this is a kid that needs to go somewhere, and he's got a new movie coming out, which that movie looks good too. Maybe we can react to that one day. But look, Longlegs, it gets a big thumbs up from me. I will watch it again. I'm looking forward to getting more out of it.
Yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed it too. I was watching it thinking, I'm not sure how Ben's going to react to this one.
I'm looking forward to seeing it on the old physical media when it comes out again.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I actually thoroughly enjoyed it.
And I don't think I'd be bothered if I watched this one on DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K. I think it's just a movie that kind of has a sort of low res kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, I mean, saying that, I watched it on a screener.
Yeah.
So maybe I should go see it theatrically in a state-of-the-art cinema just to see what the atmosphere is like.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe we can do that together.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, thanks, everyone. And once again, go back and look at this week's Good Movie Monday episode with the Boneheads. It's a hell of a lot of fun, a lot of conversation, a lot of laughs to be had. So we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.